Hey guys, it's Jackie here, aka UnBandedQT, or the artist formerly known as BandedQT. So I wanted to spend some time talking about polycystic ovaries and the truth about polycystic ovaries for me. I'm not saying that this is a truth that's universal because everybody experiences certain symptoms differently, but this is what polycystic ovarian syndrome looks like for me and what I have been struggling with for the last 10, 12 years. My name is Jackie. As you guys know, I started my weight loss surgery journey a long time ago, 2010. I just got my period. As most of you guys know, having polycystic ovaries means irregularities in your menstrual cycle. This video is going to be more geared towards women, so sorry any men who watch my videos, but I wanted to talk about my period and my period cycle and what it looks like for me. So, I started my period when I was 9 years old. I had very heavy menses. It was horrible. I was getting it regularly from 9 to 13, and then when I was 13, I just started having severe issues with my menstrual cycle. I started having really bad cramps. I would miss weeks upon weeks of school. There was a conversation about starting birth control because birth control produces the hormone levels that women who have polycystic ovaries have difficulties with. Basically, with women who have polycystic ovaries, your hormones are off balance. You still produce your female hormones, which make us characteristically female: progesterone, estrogen, that stuff. But you also have increased testosterone and androgens. And so when you have polycystic ovaries, you have more of testosterone than a normal person would have. Women have both testosterone and estrogen. It's just estrogen tends to be higher in women. And so, being overweight, you have all those issues to fight with, diabetes, cholesterol, all that stuff. And then you add polycystic ovaries, which in turn messes with your hormones. Some people experience polycystic ovaries differently. From 13 to 16, my culture doesn't believe in birth control, so I didn't start birth control. So I started having irregular periods. I went from having my period monthly to having it once every 2 months, and that was okay with me because I was a teenage girl. I was like, I freaking hate this shit anyway. Like, it's annoying. I remember cursing Eve for eating the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden and therefore causing us to bleed monthly. That's where my mind was when I was younger. But basically, from 16 to 18 was when I started having really, like, it was worse. Instead of having one period every couple of months, I would get my period for a month, not get it for 2 to 3 months, get it for a month, not get it for 2 to 3 months. And then when I started college, I had a non-existent period. My doctors did tons of tests, and that's when I was officially diagnosed with polycystic ovaries. 1, my testosterone levels were really high. 2, I wasn't producing enough progesterone. And 3, my weight ballooned. I went from maybe like 160 to 180 my freshman year, and then I went from 180 to 240 the other years. With that being said, I also had issues with my thyroid, and I was pre-diabetic, and that's why I had surgery the first time. So what do periods look like for me now? Before weight loss surgery, it was maybe once or twice a year. Usually around times when I wasn't feeling a lot of stress. So I do feel that stress does play a big role in your menstrual cycle. For me, I started birth control, and it helped me get my period regularly. But then in 2007, I had my gallbladder taken out, and they attributed that to the birth control that I was taking, so I had stopped taking birth control. It was around 2009 that I decided I wanted to have children, and it's been a struggle, and it's been really, really bad. I haven't had a period, so therefore I don't ovulate, and if you don't ovulate, you can't have a baby. And one of the main courses or one of the main treatments, or the first levels of treatment for polycystic ovaries is birth control. But if you're on birth control, you can't have a baby. So, I've been in talks with the doctors to figure out different forms of treatment options in order to produce a period try to have a baby and still get the polycystic ovaries out. Of course, the main thing that all my doctors said was, Jackie, you need to lose weight. There's no way that, one, you can have a healthy baby, which I think is BS. It puts you at higher risk, but you can still have a healthy baby. There's no way that you can be healthy and carry a baby to full term if you are overweight and sick. And so, you know, that on top of being pre-diabetic, on top of, you know, having a lot of medical issues with being overweight is what changed my mind from never having surgery again to having revision surgery from lap band to VSG. So again, I started this journey at 223. Day of surgery was 201. Today I'm at 163. And again, I'm not worried about that because I have my period. I got my period in November. That's when I started talking to the doctors again about having surgery. And then in December was when I went in for my consultations and all that stuff. So I had my period in November. I didn't get it again till the week of surgery, which was I had my period on the 16th, had surgery on the 17th, got it from the 17th to like 28th. I had my period for so long and it was heavy and gross and disgusting. I'm not going into that. But it was pretty bad. But I was hopeful because I said, hey, I got my period by itself. Though anesthesia definitely helped bring it on heavier, I got my period for itself. So I was really excited. And then in my first month, I lost about 20 pounds total after post-op. And then, you know, the weight started coming off slowly and I started getting more blood work, and that's when they said, you know, your thyroid is really off. And you're still diabetic. But with polycystic ovaries, you become insulin resistant. So my blood sugar, when I test it, is fine, but my hemoglobin A1C, which is the one that checks for your diabetes, is off. Why? Because polycystic ovaries makes you insulin resistant. So in turn, it means I'm diabetic. So therefore, if I were to get pregnant, it would still be a high-risk pregnancy because I have the ability of having gestational diabetes, or I think that's what they call it. You know, when you become diabetic when you're pregnant. But with that being said, I was still moving forward with it. Unfortunately, you know, I didn't get my period again until, you know, I do attribute stress to that. You know, in May, I made a video. I was transitioning jobs. It was a real hectic time in my life. And then, you know, in my update video, I said there was a lot of stuff going on.